friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design, and this is Throwback Thursday. This is a little weekly series where I dig back into my stash of beautiful paper products, dyes, tools, techniques, and we create something fresh and new together. This year in 2023, I'm doing a little Banner of the Month series, and it's time for us to make our March banner. So I went into my stash and I pulled out Graphic 45's. I had a few bits and pieces left of the March Time to Flourish papers. Not a lot, just a little. So I paired those up with some of the patterns and solids from Cottage Life and put together this pretty little purple and green and cream banner. This is a 5 pennant banner, and I've cut the pennants by hand. They're each 4.5 by, I can't remember, I think I went 6.5, but let me just measure so I tell you the truth. Oops, nope, they are 7. They are 4.5 by 7 is what I cut the green. And I just cut 4.5 by 7 rectangles, and then I measured over, this is how I do this, because half of 4.5 is 2 1/4, I measured over 2 1/4, and I measured up 2 1/4, and I made a dot, and then I cut into that to make the V. And then I matted it on lavender cardstock and just trimmed around it, distressed the edges, and stitched it together. These little panels of the patterned paper are 4 by 4, and I glued those, did the same thing, stitched those onto lavender, and then I've glued one here, and one here, because like I said, I had a very limited supply of this paper. Then I took some ivory square tags, and I used the die to cut out liners from the Cottage Life and put those down. And then I hooked the whole thing using binder clips. I'll show you how I do that. I just take binder clips, I line up my lace and I line up my ribbon, and then I hold them in place with binder clips, and I stitch it together on my machine. And I go, this time I layered this purple swirl, this grape swirl, over the top of the ivory lace, because I felt like it needed the pop of color. There was a lot of green and it was a little overwhelming, so I had to break up some of the green with a little bit of this color. So I stitched along the top of this ribbon, along the bottom of this ribbon, and along the bottom of the lace. So 3 rows of stitching. It's really sturdy. And then I just tied these little string bows in between these pennants and added a button on top. We're just going to decorate this pennant by pennant so you can see how I put these together. And this time on each pennant, we're starting with a doily, just a little, whatever white doily. You can die cut one, you can use one you have in your stash. These are, I think, 4-inch doilies, but hold on a minute, they might only be 3.5 inches. I'll let you know. And I'm just going to tuck these underneath like that. But I wanted you to see kind of how I built the layers, because that can be helpful sometimes. Yeah, these are 4-inch white doilies, and they're kind of an off-white. They're sort of a great vintage white. They look really good with these papers because we're going for kind of a vintage vibe here. So on each pennant, so there we go. That's a really good start. And the great thing about doilies is they add some texture and layer, and it's all about textures and layers. All right, so on this first pennant, I've created kind of a little collage these are just some things I found in my stash. I just go through my stash and I look for stuff that works. So I cut this sticker frame from Time to Flourish in half, put half of it behind here. This is a little piece of ephemera that I found in my stash and a little frame. And we're going to glue this down. That's the first step. So this is going to go right here, just like that. Okay. Then I took another little tag that I fussy cut from Time to Flourish. And I put foam tabs on the back. And this is going to sit right in here. And I've just added a little sparkly gem. Then I've got this sweet little circle sticker from Cottage Life, and I've done the same thing. I put foam tape on the back. This little girl in her garden, so sweet. And she's going to go right here, just like that. And then I've got this little piece that I cut out of the 8x8. This is Happy St. Patrick's Day. And this is going to go right here, like that. And then this is a Reneabouquets butterfly and a little birdie flower. I think these are called, oh, I'm not sure what these are called, so I won't say. I want to put this right here. And then I'm going to take my beautiful butterfly and put it right on the top like that. So that's our first pennant done. Not hard, right? So let's go to the second one. And on this second one, we've got our doily down. Oops. So I'm going to take this March calendar piece that I cut out of the 8x8. And this is going to go at an angle, actually, I think is what I decided. And then I went through my flowers and I found this petaloo cluster of blackberries and little blooms. And I want to glue these down just like that. Just cut this little greeting out. I'm going to put some foam tape. I put foam tape on the back. I just put some hot glue on there. And I'm sticking that right in with this little bouquet. And then on the bottom, because we've got this wonderful grommet, I took a tag from the chipboard tags and I added a key. And we're going to thread this through with some of our string. And I'm just tying a knot. And then I'm going to tie a little bow. I think if I left the string long enough, hopefully I did. Yeah. Okay. So that's just going to kind of hang down there. And then I'm coming in with just one little flower to go right here. So that dresses up that tag. And then I used the other half of that frame that was over here, right here on the corner. And I'll think about that. We may come back and do something else. Now we're on our center. And this is a fun one. These are some goodies that my friend Becky at Cabin Ridge sent me a while back. And I think these are Anna Griffin, but I'm not 100% sure. Becky, you can comment if they are or not. But I thought this would be fun because St. Patrick's Day, I mean, my Irish Grammy always had a cup of tea going, constantly. It was just a given. If you were at Grammy's house, there was tea. That was how that worked. So I took this beautiful teapot. Isn't that gorgeous? And then there's actually a teacup as well. I'm just going to lay that over. And then a little spoon also, so cute. This is the cutest. And I put a little foam on the back of the spoon. And this is going to go, let me see, how do I want this to go? Just like this, I think. Okay. And then this little "You're Invited." We're going to sneak in right here. Isn't that cute? Oh yeah, that's what I had to go over here. I've got these two little clover buttons. I just found them. So one here and one here. Okay, I think that's pretty good for now. All right, so that's this one. And I've got these beautiful Dreamer baubles from Reneabouquets. And I'm going to just take some hot glue and kind of randomly lay it down here. And I want to take these little baubles and put them in the glue. So what you're always thinking when you're doing something like this is contrast. All right, you want things to go together, but you also want contrast. So contrast in shapes, contrast in colors, contrast in pattern, as long as like you're matching hues. Like you can go lighter and darker within the same hue. But if I took a more red purple, like a plum purple, it would look strange here. But because these are all more or less the same hue, it works. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to explain that in a way that I think about it. I'm going to put one little dot of hot glue here. I'm going to take this pretty pearl and put it in the spoon. And let me get a few more of these little ones. They're all in the bottom. Well, I'll come back and I'm going to scatter a few down here in the saucer. I'm not going to do that now because it's really messy. You have to do it over a funnel tray, and I don't want beads rolling all over the place while I'm trying to do a tutorial. But just so you know, I'll put a little bit of glue here and I'll come back and add a few more beads over there. All right. So let's go on to this one. This is a fun one. This is a Reneabouquets heart with violets. It's just so perfect. I can't even believe it. So I'm adding a little hot glue. I put 2 rows of foam tape on the back, and this is going to go right here. Okay, so pretty. I wanted to raise this up. I didn't want it flat against the doily. So then I also went into my Reneabouquets, and this is one of her little mini mason jars. So sweet. And I want this to go right here, kind of at an angle, like that. And then I've got, hold on, I have all these little pieces. This is another tag where I'm going to cover up the corner. Yeah, I wanted this more like that. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to put my blackberries down. So see, we're kind of being symmetrical. Both of our tag pieces have these great corner swags with the flowers and the blackberries. And then I went ahead and made a little nest with burlap string. I just coil it around my fingers, and then I don't know where I found these little wee eggs, but I love them for spring projects. And I just colored the eggs with a little bit of ink and then put some of those pearls in there. And I've got this little charm. This is from Cottage Life. I had this all put together and then I took it all apart so I could show you all how to put it all back together again. And I'm going, what did I do there? So now we're on our last pennant, and I've got this little piece that I fussy cut out of the journal card, the March journal card from the 12 by 12 Time to Flourish. And I've just put foam adhesive on the bottom and the left-hand side. And this is going to sit right down in this corner. Then I found this sweet little tag, also fussy cut from that collection. And this is going to tuck in just like this. And I've added one of those little purple gems. And then from Cottage Life, this sweet little write it on your heart that every day is the best day of the year. And this is going to go in. I think this is cut out from a 3x4 journaling card. And I want this to go right here. And then I've got this springtime sticker from the Time to Flourish sticker sheet. And this is going to go right here like that. Another one of our pretty flowers. It's going to go right here in the corner. And then another Reneabouquet butterfly. This is from her new Dreamers, I think these are called. And they really are stunning. Okay. And then I have this little Petaloo sugar flower. I've had these forever. I used to be on their design team, and these were one of my favorites. I'm just going to tuck this down in there to create an extra layer of texture. Also, it covers up the little tiny bit of the picture that I didn't necessarily want. And then just a little leaf in there. All right, so done. All right, this, I need to go back here. And I had this sweet little sticker that I backed with foam tabs. And this goes right in here. And I like the way this circle feeds on this circle, which feeds on the doily circle. It's just a really good, it's just neat. So that fills that all in. So that's all that we're doing on the pennants themselves. Now, bring this over here. And I've tied a bow with more of this grape satin. And this is going to go right here in this corner, just like that, with the tails up. And if you want your tails down, do your tails down. I mean, it's your project, so do what you want. I just wanted my tails up. And I've got a beautiful purple rose I'm going to put right here on top. Do you see how the darker color, I'm just trying to create contrast. That's the whole idea. Let's stick this little green guy right here, just for some texture and a bit of sparkle. And then maybe this little green guy. And what I'll do when I'm all done, because I can see the glue webs, I'm sure you can, I'll come in with my heat gun and I'll blow those off because that's annoying. All right. And then I tied these little string bows, same color as I used on the corners, you know, in between the pennants, just to fill in there and kind of finish that off. So there's that one done. I'm going to pick it up carefully because that glue has not set. I don't think we need to do anything else here. I don't know that we need to do anything here. Let me just study it for a moment. Maybe what we'll do is, yeah, that's pretty. Instead of beads, I'm going to take this little purple rose and put it right there. That's very nice. I like that. Okay, so down to this one. And I have one blackberry blossom I'm going to tuck just like this, just to finish that out. That's pretty. And then let's take these pretty purple roses and tuck them into here. And that finishes that. All right, guys, that finishes it up. There's our little banner. I'll bring it around in a circle so you can maybe see the whole thing at the same time. I just need to clean up those glue webs and we're good to go. So that is our banner of the month for March 2023 using Graphic 45, Time to Flourish, and Cottage Life, and a bunch of goodies that I found from Reneabouquets and in my stash. All right, guys, that's it. And you go get your craft done, and I'm going to clean up this mess. Bye.